Hello, Attactioneers. I'm your host, Taylor Morrow.
And I'm your host, Isaac Jessen. What's up, Taylor? It's been a
What's
while.
up? It has been a while. We have been crazy busy. The weather has been nuts here on the North Coast. And we're getting ready to podcast here, obviously, because you're listening to this podcast. So we did it. Good job, us.
Yeah, it's been for us lowlanders in California, we've been having a snowy time of it, which has been kind of a nightmare to deal with. Like chains, four-wheel low, and steep dirt roads, trying to just like live our lives. And it adds quite a lot. But now it's just torrential rains, which we're more used to up here. I think it's flooding in the flatter parts of California, unfortunately. But yep, just another Northern California winter.
Indeed. Yeah, my road flooded on Friday, so I didn't go to work because I couldn't. Which we're recording this on Sunday, before pre-release, Sunday the 12th or whatever. So whatever Friday that was. Pretty crazy times. But we're not going to chit chat around too much because in this episode, we're going to do the set review for Outsiders, which I'm really excited about this new limited set. Maybe underwhelmed in the classic constructed sense, but those hot takes are TBD. We need more time. It's still very early. So we'll figure that out later.
They are. I do have a sliver of hope because I was thinking like both Icelander and Dromai were like very, very bad for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess not that long, but like weeks and months, right?
Yeah.
Before anyone did really well with them. So it is possible that somebody could find their stride with one of these heroes. We're a bit underwhelmed about in CC, but yeah. Just to be clear, this is a limited set review we're doing today. We're going to go through each card other than the legendaries and just give them a rating and talk about them in a limited setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And we did a whole series of how to draft before Uprising. And I believe those are... I forget what episodes they are specifically number-wise, somewhere in the 40s, I think. But if you just scroll through our feed, you'll find how to draft part 1, how to draft part 2, and that sort of thing. And so that if this is your first draft, those are great resources to help you out. And along with the set review, you should be pretty ready to go for not only pre-release, but also skirmish season and potentially release weekend. So good luck to you, our dear Attactioneers. But before we get at all that, we have a bit of housekeeping to take care of. So shout outs, I'm just going to dive right into this for those of you that have been following my other job, which is high school basketball coach. It's been a while since we've had an episode, so I haven't been able to talk about it, but our season is over. And we lost in the semifinals to San Francisco Waldorf in an embarrassing fashion by 20. And it was pretty heartbreaking because our season was over. So typically when you make it to the semifinals in basketball in California, you then qualify for the state tournament. But in our division, we have a weird rule that because we have 224 students, we don't qualify for the state tournament. You have to have 200 or less students in our division. So that was it for us, even though we're one of the best teams in our division. And in other divisions, there's technically 7 in California, but from divisions 5 through 1 for the state tournament, they'll reseed you in a different division. So shout out to Urban back-to-back section winners for Division 5, but after they won their section, they got moved up to Division 3 for some reason. And so just ours doesn't get moved. So there was this whole controversy, kind of, not really controversy, locally about what the story was behind that. And a lot of people have reached out to me, etc. So we got boned by a weird rule that makes no sense. And if they're going to move everybody else around, why not just move us up a division arbitrarily? But then, like, the team that beat us won sections and also won the state championship, and none of their games were closer than 19 points, and they have less than 200 kids. So I'm
holy shit.
Every single game. Every single game. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my.
They won, I don't even know how many games in a row that is. It's seven postseason games in a row that were not closer than 19 points,
Jeez.
And they have under 200 kids or whatever. So it was like, who is this rule really protecting?
I don't know anything about this, but having different qualifications for the same tournament for different regions seems bananas. I know, like I've never even heard of something like that, I don't think. But anyway,
the little bit of frosting on the cake here, or I don't know,
cake.
Yeah, the shit cake, but we got a little frosting on top, a little whipped cream, is that because we did win our league back-to-back this year, which is the first time since 1990, 91 that we have won back-to-back league championships. And I think it's only like 3, 4, 5, our 6th league championship ever in school history. I got to put up one of my players for league MVP, and he unanimously won. So it's like a huge deal locally and a huge deal for our school and for me. Now I've coached back-to-back league championships and had back-to-back league MVPs. And in my last, my last 2 seasons, I'm now like 34 and 13 or something like that is my record. So now that I've had time away from that really bad loss, I feel really good with my body of work, but not satisfied because I did not accomplish all of the stuff I wanted to do, So hungry for next season, and I look forward to giving everybody the updates next year.
Yeah, great job. Competition is tough because you always end on a loss. You know what I mean? And disappointment. Unless you win the national championship or whatever. You know what I mean? But almost always it ends in a loss at some point. And that's like a hard note to end on.
Yeah.
Almost every time. So no matter how well you do, it's like that's the last memory and that's the final note of it. But it's not like representative of, your whole season or your campaign or whatever. So
yeah. It just sucks to lose by 20 and kind of have, a bit of a meltdown from my players. And, how like me and my wife call it a dog loop, when your dog just gets kind of like stuck kind of barking at nothing or like won't really they're just like in this loop of like, I just have to do this thing. I just have to do this thing. It's this thing, that's how my like players felt. It felt like coaching that. So that was like unfortunate. But now in hindsight, when they just beat everybody by 20, it was like, okay, I guess like, being down by 4 at halftime was a huge accomplishment, or whatever. So
yeah, totally. That makes it much better really when nobody else could get within 20. But
super nuts. Anyway, do you have a shout out, Isaac?
Yeah, I remembered. I wanted to shout out Arsenal Pass, who just had their 100th episode, and they just have been a rock in this community. Consistent quality content. They're killing it. Great job, you guys. Keep it
Keep it
up.
up.
100 more.
Friend of the show, Hayden Dale and Brendan Patrick. So great. And then just to take Brendan Patrick down a notch, he talked about his half marathon time, which was quite a bit slower than the one time I ran a half marathon compared to me. So, his biceps might be bigger, but I did better in my half marathon. So.
I think he had a respiratory infection or something, but
Isaac, there are no
get
excuses
him while he's down.
When it comes to game day. Okay.
All right.
In the news, a couple of things. One, skirmish season is right around the corner. April 8th to the 23rd. Get ready. Sealed and Blitz. And we have some spicy spice for that Blitz season for y'all, but you'll have to wait until the end of the month's podcast to get that bad boy.
Our top 8 cuts draft? It's all sealed?
For sealed? I bet they are. That's usually what they've done.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But anyway. Sorry, keep going.
Road to Nats has been announced. It is now May 20th to June 4th. A little 3 weeks, and we got a bit more of lead time on that. So that's a bonus. We were talking earlier that maybe now our critique is if you're going to have less things to do during the year, then the things you have available should last maybe a little longer. So now that we just don't have a lot going on, it would be nice actually maybe if Road to Nats season was 4 weeks long. Same with ProQuest season. So, just a little bit of the growing pains, I think, there, and perhaps a personal preference.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is I understand you have to prioritize this game over other plans in order to make the events and just be semi-flexible if you want to play competitively. And that's just always going to be how it is. But on the other hand, it's last year, some things were kind of crammed together and everybody was complaining about burnout and all that. And this year there's less stuff. And now everyone's complaining that there are less things to do. But so hopefully I would imagine next year LSS will really iron it out and have kind of an evenly dispersed series of competitive events. But yeah, totally. The bottom line is there's not a lot of stuff for us to do. Especially if you're not flying long distances for callings. Just having Road to Nats and ProQuest and skirmish season are things you really look forward to because there's these long gaps of kind of no competitive play at all. So yeah, having them be a bit longer and maybe being able to make more because of less store conflicts and stuff. It's kind of why not at that point since that's all we got going on. But anyway, moving on.
Last thing here on the news docket is Surgical Extraction will be reprinted in the next supplemental set, which I think is Dusk to Dawn is the name of that set. So they basically, said Surgical got mixed up in Dynasty, underprinted. Now we're going to reprint it in this new supplemental set so that with it combined from its Dynasty rarity, that it will be at the drop rate that is its original rate that it was supposed to be. So that's pretty great. And it'll maintain the Dynasty card lettering. So it'll say Dynasty at the bottom and its number and that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool.
That's weird. I actually think it's going to be reprinted at the same rate it was printed in Dynasty, so that there will exist the exact amount they originally planned.
Right. Whatever it is, it's not going to be they're going to not flood the market. They're going to try to make it an even where they originally saw it being at. So that's pretty great. Only
Yep.
2 more surgicals for me to go. So then we got them.
Yeah, I'm still like priced out of playing Assassin. Actually, the original Arachne maybe interests me the most, but
Mm-hmm.
the class doesn't actually interest me as much as I thought it might. And I don't have Black Tech Whisperers, and I don't have Surgicals, which cost more than the L. There are the 3 of them put together. So I'm like, I'm just on the sidelines here. Maybe
Right.
someday I'll get Assassin cards.
It's all good. So that's it for the news. The last thing I wanted to talk about is do a little plugs of all of the stuff we're doing over here at the Attack Action Podcast Media Empire. So firstly, on Saturday mornings around 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Are we in Standard Time now? Spring forward. Springtime. 9 a.m. West Coast America time. I'm doing live streams on our YouTube page, and it's been going great. So stop by, say what's up in the chat, and watch me try to be entertaining for an hour and a half or so. Then also, we're still doing listener voice memos. So like if you have a question, get out your voice memo app on your phone, talk to your phone, be like, Taylor and Isaac, why are you so good at podcasting? And then email that to us at the attackactionpodcast@gmail.com. And then we will play it on our show and answer your question. So you'll get like your 30 seconds of fame. So it'll be wonderful. So that'll be really fun. So do that. Voice memo questions. Third thing, me and plague survivor Colin, he just survived a terrible sickness this last week, are putting together a lore series. So we're going to be basically reading the main story chronologically of Flesh and Blood. And that's going to go up in our RSS feed. And we have a preview up already of part of the Bravo story, which is the beginning of the whole thing where we're at now. And so you can take a listen to that, and that'll give you an idea of what's happening. So that'll be in our RSS feed. And then for patrons, we will have all of those in a folder for you. So once it's all done, or as that more come out, you'll be able to just go to the folder and download all of those in a row, all of those files. So you can just listen to it like an audiobook at some point. Then the final thing is also a Patreon exclusive. We're now doing a separate podcast called the Time Snap podcast, where basically we gain extra action points to be able to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about that's not Flesh and Blood related. And it's a great time.
And all the meta secrets. So sign up for our Patreon. No, just kidding. We give those away for free. But if you want to hear more unrelated ramblings,
yeah, that's the place to do it for sure.
No, yeah. So this is a new project. We've released 1 episode so far and are about to record our second. But basically, one of the 3 of us chooses a topic, and we all come together and discuss it. And it's kind of whatever topic we want. So if you want to hear us in like a talk show setting more than the intros to our regular podcasts, sign up for Patreon. Costs you a cup of coffee a month. Maybe even less than that now. Maybe half a cup of coffee a month. And
it's like
in our Discord get our exclusive content.
Exactly. It's like basically just a latte a month, So just get a drip coffee twice, which is half the price of a latte, and then you'll have the $4 ready to give to us, which we really appreciate. All right, let's get into this set review. Main topic time. Okay, So here we go. So we're going to just go through the set, basically card 0 to card 200 and something.
Yeah, and if you want to follow along visually with us, preferably not if you're driving in your car, because that's too many screens going on. We're doing it in the order on Fabrary,
which is the set order.
But you can just follow along and look at the cards as we discuss them.
So first up is Uzuri Switchblade and Arachne Solitary Confinement. Do you have any thoughts about these characters?
Yeah, so first off, I think that Uzuri, I'm unsure how well her ability will play out in this set. However, they did include a number of pretty good 6-power generics that kind of like supplement her card pool to capitalize on her ability, in addition to having attack reactions for the assassin class. And again, while I'm like unsure exactly how good this is in limited, you have such low life on limited that an important factor for a character is being able to push damage. So if you're able to kind of consistently chip your opponent down while blocking effectively, like maybe you draft a lot of block 3s, etc., they're on a pretty short clock with a low life total, especially Squishy Benji over there. As far as Arachne goes, I don't know. I think this is kind of the Fi or the Briar of the set, right? Just inherently good. Less breakpoints, less large combos, but being able to throw out, a free 3 go again that blocks 3 also. And then another 3 followed by an attack reaction or a 6 or something is kind of a lot of times the play pattern you're looking for if Arachne is open, right? And then you're just asking your opponent with their limited janky deck to be able to deal with that and outvalue you. And a lot of times that's like very difficult under that kind of pressure. So I think that hero power is inherently good. However, if too many people are competing for his card pool, it's not, it's not a broken ability, right? So I think that it could quickly become very mediocre if you just have a bunch of like generic 2 blocks and crap. So that's how I feel about those heroes. But how are you reading these?
Well, Go Again is good. So ASC is good, is basically how I value that. Both of these heroes are actually trying to outvalue you, is what it seems like, more than like race you in that sort of thing. So I do like ASC a little bit better right away, but that's just because it's very familiar. You know what I mean? That's like easy to grasp how the value of Go Again on stealth attacks works. But it's still pretty early, and I can definitely see a world where we get just better at playing and drafting Uzuri, and so it's just better than maybe we give it credit for. So moving on.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about, so the generic weapon is the Spider's Bite. We're already familiar with that.
Or and the token weapon.
Yeah, taking up several majestic slots, unfortunately, are the Nerve, Scalpel, Orbitoclast, and Scale Peeler. And I think these are like actively bad. Like these are not the majestics you want to pull in limited, unfortunately. And like I said, there's a lot. They're going to take up a lot of majestic slots. I will say, so if you do pull an Orbitoclast, it's worth running, right? Like then you can have the Spider's Bite to counter attacks, Orbitoclast to counter non-attacks. Definitely an upgrade to your deck, but still, fairly underwhelming as far as, you're not pulling a Winter's Whale here. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, totally. And like, unless you actually have Flick Knives, which would be an insane draft pool to pull a legendary and then basically nerve scalpel with flick knives. You're just not doing anything. So I gave all of these basically 2 stars. Oh yeah, did we talk about our rating here? We're doing stars, baby. 1 through 5 stars. 5 stars is crazy. Windmill slam dunk that thing down on the table, win your draft. 1 star is you might as well just replace it with a cracked bauble or rip it up.
Yep.
So 2 stars here for all of these. 3 maybe for nerve scalpel or bitoclast, but that would have to be against like a perfect scenario where your opponent has the perfect deck for you to mess with.
Yeah, I'll give Nerve Scalpel 2 stars, Orbido Class 2.5 stars, Scale Peeler 1 star. You know, they're just like not relevant.
Not good. Don't pick one of these, pack one, pick one and be like, all right, hard assassin.
Yeah.
Stuff. Redback Shroud. Any thoughts?
That's a legendary.
Totally. Just anything.
Oh, I thought we were skipping those.
We totally are, but it does have battle worn, so might as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
use it.
So if you do pull this card, it's really good and limited, right? It has battle worn 1, and once per game you're going to get to play an attack reaction for free, which in the assassin class is like really, really good. They have several attack reactions that target stealth cards that cost 1, which ups your gameplay to 3 cards instead of 2 for that play, right? But if you can play a free stealth card and then a free attack reaction and trigger 2 on hits instead, that's, you know, costs, you can block with 1 more card that turn cycle, which again in Blitz, what we're doing here is outvaluing our opponent in a very short amount of time. So yeah, I mean, this card's,
it's basically Blossom of Spring and an Iron Rot.
Yeah.
Together, which is fine.
I mean, it's not, so if you have a bad deck, it's not going to win you the game, but
totally.
This is like 4 or 5 stars. You know, it's excellent.
Sweet. Infiltrate.
4 stars.
Wow, controversy already. I have 2 stars.
Nice. Okay, I'll go first. So I like this because it pairs with the attack reactions. It has a powerful effect. Like I talked about winning turn cycles. If you hit a decent to okay card off your opponent's deck, that means you can block with 1 more card when they're attacking you, and then you can play their card instead to eke out some value. It blocks 3. It works with Uzuri's ability. It has Go Again in Arachne. So this isn't like a 5-star bomb. It's not a power play, but it's everything you want to do. You can pitch it along with an attack reaction or 2 late game to set up a kind of blowout play. I think it's really, really good in the vein of like normal cards, right? Not a blowout. All right. Why 2 stars? Why is this bad?
Because it's easily blocked. So at, you know, to scale this to where it works really good, and I'm trying to confirm if you can use arrows. So if I like banish Spire Sniping off your deck and I don't have a bow, can I still use it? So
I don't think so. I think you can't override you can in most games.
So then for 1/3 of the heroes, it's a dead card, easily blocked with 1 card or 2 cards. And then the return you're getting off of making it at a break point is just not great. And you could be doing other stuff. So would probably pick it because it's a 0 that blocks for 3. But if there's a better Majestic, I'm for sure going to pick it. I don't want to fill this is just not like a bomb or anything. It's just 2 stars. It's not very good.
All right. Shakedown.
Not very good.
What do you think
Shakedown?
About Shakedown?
I also gave Shakedown 2 stars.
Oh, sick. I gave it 5 stars.
Best card in the set, huh? 5 stars?
Well, I mean, oh, so there'll be a controversy here. I'll have too many 5-star ratings, and Taylor will be like, that's too many 5-star ratings. You're not allowed to have that many. And then I'll be like, oh, it's my rating system. So
Yeah, totally. Do what you
anyway,
want, bro.
that's good. Yeah, I mean, this blocks for 3. If you flash it in and trigger it and deal damage, it's excellent. If they overblock, you just arsenal it, save it for later. It's everything you want to be doing.
It's not good. It's 2
Okay.
stars. It dies to 6 block, which is too easy. So like you play your stealth card, they block with a 3 block. You Azuri it in. They have another 3 defense reaction trap or instant or whatever. Boom, card's dead, and the only value you're getting is them blocking with 2 cards. And then if they like overblock and then you arsenal it, then it does not do its thing. It's just a blank 2 for 6. So not good. 2 stars.
Fair enough. This is great. I love the controversy here.
Spreading Plague, Isaac.
4 stars.
Nice. I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a setup card, and in limited, I think that players will be more likely to pay for their blood rot. But if you pitch stack this or just draw it with kind of a hot hand, it's like pretty good, right? Because if they block your turn with at least 2 cards, and then you're able to play this, they're sitting on like 2 blood rots.
Yeah.
And have to do nothing. Odds are they don't have 2 blues and take damage anyway. But it's just very powerful, especially if you set it up.
Yeah, I gave this 3 stars, and I didn't give it the 4-star rating because they have to block for it to have value. So it only really is really good if they make a mistake or it's at the end of the game and you're threatening to kill them. So that's why I give it 3 stars. But I sure would pick this maybe kind of over the other Majestics. This is the best assassin Majestic in my opinion.
It also blocks 3, which is
really good.
I mean, unlike a lot of this style card don't block or block for 2, but all these assassin cards block for 3, which is really good.
Yeah.
All right, Backstab, moving out of the Majestics.
Into the rares. 2 stars.
Also 2 stars.
Yep.
Just functions.
Yep. Don't want a lot of these, but we'll take them if we got them. Mm-hmm. If we can like into the game pitch stack that, I don't know. It's just defense reactions. So it's like end game, it doesn't help you. Early game, it maybe does when they have defense reactions.
Yeah, I mean, there are no defense reactions except for traps.
Yeah.
Also, right? So it's not like people are drafting fates or whatever. All right, Sneak Attack.
I gave it 3 stars, but only if you're running it in Uzuri.
Yep,
3
too.
3 stars in all
Uzuri,
colors.
1 star everybody else. Or
Yep.
I guess just Arachne.
Yeah. 1 star for Arachne.
It also blocks for 2, so it's like really 1 star with Arachne. It's a 2 cost. Anyway.
It's bad if you're, because there's no other attack reaction. You could do Spreading Plague on it.
Yeah.
Is the only thing that you could use to buff it.
For a blue, which is like pretty good, but
totally. I suppose there's the other card. What is it? Shortened Slicer or whatever the dual class one.
Oh yeah, if you're rocking this in yellow.
Yeah, yellow or blue. You can also get the value off of it with a blue, but that's a lot to line up for a 2 blocks in your deck.
Totally.
Not
I don't like those kind of play patterns in limited, because in limited you're just drawing piles of jank together,
yeah.
right? You're not
Yeah.
like drawing, like what's really going to happen is you're going to draw this yellow sneak attack that blocks for 2 and a blue stealth card and, like a freaking another generic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to line up the 3-card combo in your deck.
Yeah, totally. You'd have to pitch
So
deck it. So yeah,
yeah.
3 or 1. Spike with blood rot. Actually, do you want to just do all 3 of these? Spike with blood rot, spike with frailty, and spike with inertia as one?
Yeah, so I gave Spike with Blood Rot 3 stars. Because specifically Blood Rot, this is kind of like a 1 for 5 instead of a 1 for 3, which I value a little bit more. I am not very high on these cards because they cost 1, because like I said, it ups your play from 2 cards to 3 cards. And you can only play it on a card with stealth, so you're targeting one of your 0 for 3s, not kind of like anything flexibly.
Mm-hmm.
If you double them up, it starts making pitching the excess card worth it. But, they're like pretty bad, except pushing surprise damage is good. And limited. So that's how I feel. I gave Spike with Frailty 2 stars and Inertia 3 stars if it's like relevant, right? Like if you're playing against Ranger, it's more applicable. But yeah, I'm not. Surprise damage is always good and limited. Besides that, I'm not that high on these. How do you look at these?
I gave all 3 of them 3 stars, but with kind of the caveat of if you have like 1 or 2 of these in your deck, that's pretty valuable to like get a break point on one of your like blue or yellow stealth cards that now has a hit effect. And if it's not relevant to use it, it still blocks for 3. So the opportunity of having this is just like good. It's like pretty good to have 1 or 2 of these in your deck. And better if it's like against the correct hero. Like Spike with Blood Rot is obviously the best because that's the most broadly applicable. But do I want to have like 8 of these in my deck? No way, too many. But like having 2, maybe 3 would be fine. I would be happy with that.
Yeah, and again, they all block for 3, so it's like, who cares?
Yeah,
like they're not a huge liability.
Yeah,
even if you have the blues, it's like a blue that blocks for 3, and like I don't know if it's relevant. They
don't come in
happens.
Blue.
Oh, that's right.
They're just these 3 reds.
Yeah,
which is weird. Getting used to that in this set. Infect. What do you have for Infect?
So there's a whole pile of these cards, and these 0 for 3 stealth cards, all with a different hit effect.
Yeah.
I'll just say, so I gave Infect 3 stars because again, I value blood rot pox a little higher, especially when pairing it with an attack reaction or swapping it out with Uzuri and then threatening it later attack reaction. I gave all of the rest 2 stars because I value their hit effect a little bit less.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Infect, I gave 3 stars. Excuse me. Totally. It's got a hit effect, like you said, and it blocks for 3. And is free. Isolate. I gave 2 stars with the caveat that Isolate is the one that has Dominate and Stealth. 2 stars with maybe it has late game potential, so could have more value. Because
pretty nice Uzuri interaction there.
Well, once it goes away, the new card, if it doesn't have Dominate, it loses Dominate.
Right, but they still have to have a defense reaction because you're in the reaction phase.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So that is good. And then the next one is Malign. And I don't know how I feel about that card. I gave it 2 stars. Maybe 1. But it's hard to pass up that it blocks for 3. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 cards that prevent damage in this set, and that's it. So it's good against working around the pseudo defense reactions, but then it doesn't have its own hit effect. So all you're doing is like, damage, which is fine, I guess. Meh.
Next up, we have Prowl, which still blocks for 3 and gives your next card with stealth +1.
I think this is pretty good in Arachne, actually. But,
What's your star rating? 2 stars?
Yeah, I gave all these 2 stars.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
if you're playing Arachne and have a strong deck, I think Prowl is like 3 stars. Because it gives a break point to your next.
Yeah. I gave
attack.
it 4 stars if you have it with ASC.
Nice.
Because it's a great card to have as your go again, and then turns your infect into a 0 for 4. So then 2 card 7, excellent. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's like great value. And I would run it in all 3 colors too, just because of blue Prowl is fine, and then makes red whatever infect or wither or whatever 0 for 4. So I like that. How about Sedate? Any changes there? This is the one that creates an inertia token.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, these are all right. So I say they're all 2 stars, but I'm not like down on them. They're kind of like the bread and butter of your deck.
Yeah.
And they're all 0 for 3 and all block for 3, but none of them have go again.
Right.
And they're easily blocked. So it's just like, to me, it's like, nothing special.
I gave them 3 stars just because that's like in the middle of the rating. So it's like probably be the, like you said, bread and butter of your deck. So both for Sedate and Wither, I just gave 3 stars. And obviously they have an upside if they're versus Ranger versus like a Ninja or the Mirror, kind of the last card here in Assassin is Razor's Edge, which is the free attack reaction that gives target stealth cards +3. What do you think about this?
5 stars.
Awesome.
In red. I mean,
yeah.
or like in blue, it's pretty good too, right? But for me, this is just like everything you want to be doing. If I have 6 red Razor's Edges in my deck, great.
Awesome.
That's all I have to say.
Still only doing 6 damage, dying to 2 card block. 2 3-card blocks. I gave it 3 stars. I think it's the best reaction, but again, like unless you jump through a few more hoops, you're still only threatening 6 damage, which is just 2 cards completely blocked. Nothing happens. So 3 stars. But
okay, but so if they double block your card, you don't have to use Azuri's ability or Razor's Edge or whatever. Razor's Edge is also very pertinent in Arachne.
Yeah, totally.
Because you're like 0 for 3, 0 for 3 Razor's Edge, which is like a lot of damage and hit effects coming in. But just curious, so like you say that fails to like 6 block or whatever, but then so if you're not trying to do that, what are you trying to do? Like, what is the play pattern you're looking for to win the game? If it's not like Razor's Edge or Shakedown, you know what I mean?
Well, in the Zuri, you definitely have to try to, like, your opponent has to misplay a little bit for you to win, and then, or the game has to go long enough to where now they're kind of forced to block you. So now you can really get much more value out of your daggers, and in ASC, it's like kind of a similar thing where you're just trying to make good exchanges. There's still just like not enough go again potentially and blocking at the same time to just have to either aggro or really fatigue them. So like Razor's Edge is fine, but it still has the caveat of stealth. And it's like, if you have a high density of stealth cards, then it's a little bit better. But if your draft didn't pan out that way and you have like more ninja assassin cards or ranger assassin cards or generics, then Razor's Edge is a bit more dead because it has to be played on a stealth card. You know what I mean? And since both assassins at the table want stealth cards, I'm unsure of how prevalent stealth cards are going to be in your deck. So for now, it's a 3 stars for me.
Yeah,
Does that
that's
help
fair.
explain some stuff?
Totally. I think I'm just valuing it a little higher because like I think that the generic instant that prevents next 3 damage will be in high demand. So it'll be split among the other, like all of the decks. And then the 2 for 4, I think is like pretty bad, but maybe some archetype will use it. And then besides that, all of the traps are rare, correct? So there won't be that many. So that's just my reasoning, that there won't be that many defense reactions. So people are going to have to like overblock or get punished by this, which is like a really good spot to be in.
Totally.
I guess it's like that, those traps being only for like one class / there's one for assassin also, and being at rare just makes them a lot less of a factor.
Yeah, totally. Which I totally can see. And some of these things will be smoothed out once we play with it. But for me, there's just still too many drawbacks for it to get any better. Like 3 in my mind is still really good. You know what I mean? Is a staple of your deck. And 4s are like, pack 1, pick 1s, pack 2, pick 1s. They're really, really good. And then 5s are like, you're going to win if you have that card in your deck, basically. So moving on to Ninja, I love both of these heroes. I think they're going to be super fun. I don't know which one's better than the other one. I have, for some reason, an affinity to Benji, so he's my favorite.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I just have Katsu money. I think Katsu's really good. I think that Benji having 3 less life is kind of a big deal, but I think that like one Benji at the table could be really good. Like if you're a pretty shrewd drafter and can just get like a combination of power cards and unblockable cards for Benji, you could have a really, really powerful deck. And there's also the +1, the other Benji ability that is pertinent. So
yeah,
I think that will take a little bit of practice or learning to get a hold on, but I think it's kind of cool that Benji is included because it is draft and there's like a lot of yellows and blues and like random
totally
cards that you can capitalize on.
I think of Benji as like the early actual stealth character because you're not going to really notice that the blue ninja cards are gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there's a yellow head jab missing from this pack.
Totally. You're just going to be like, oh, sick, more red power cards. This is awesome. And you're like, fuck, my resource curve sucks. And Benji's going to be over there just like, and then just like hit you for 8 in your opening hand, Yeah. So like, I don't know. Just that type of shit I really like. And he has my favorite card in the set too, so which we'll get to.
Nice. Yeah, there's like all these play pattern like yellow head jab or like pitch a blue yellow leg tap, followed by what's that, amnesia or one of the 2-cost ones where they discard.
Yeah, totally.
For 7, you know. That's like really good, adding these breakpoints onto some of these really powerful cards.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So first ninja card up is a common Mask of Many Faces.
5 stars.
Nice. I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, I mean it's like it has blade break and it fixes one of your hands, right?
Yeah.
We just always go back to limited's very short. You don't have much life. If you
Yeah.
can just, it does cost 1, which I think makes it fair, but
Yeah.
upgrading your like almost perfect combo hand into a perfect combo hand is like very, very good.
Yeah. Or even to just smooth out, like just getting a 2 card just value turn is worth it. So yeah, I would pack one, pick one, Mask of Many Faces for sure.
Yeah. Also, maybe my favorite art in the set.
Dude.
Maybe
Carlos
in the
Kerchaga
game.
just freaking nails it every time.
It's so sick. The flavor of this card is so sick. I've never been a ninja fan, but I want to anyway. It's good.
Cyclone Roadhouse. It's actually Roundhouse, but it just reminds me of one of the great films, Roadhouse.
So I gave this 4 stars. It's so off of a blue, it's a pretty good 2-hand or 2 or 3 card combo, right? You can just play Spinning Wheel Kick into this, and like getting their equipment, which is kind of the CC power of this card, is not online, but you know, I still think it's like a good like 3 card hand. Why? What's your star on here?
I gave it 1 star.
Oh shit.
So like its application hit effect is just not gonna happen that often, and it pairs with a rare, so it's like super not gonna be online hardly ever, and is like hard to just put it at the end of a combat chain if it's not online because it costs 2 and it's a yellow. So it just like does nothing I want it to do as any ninja player. So it's 1 star.
Nice. Those are all very valid points. It does block 3. I do think it's so they can't really block it, right?
Yeah.
If you pull it off in the combo sense, or you use Mask of Many Faces, or like, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
To pull it off, or like the other card that names cards. It is kind of free, albeit expensive damage, because you have to super overblock it to like be able to block. But anyway,
right.
Maybe 3 stars. I don't know.
1 star, baby. Okay, how about Dishonor, the blue majestic with the craziest art?
I gave it 3 stars. I couldn't imagine you pulling it off in limited, but it's like a 0 cost relevant to Katsu, block 3, blue combo card that attacks, you know? And
yeah,
then
totally.
You could actually pull it off. Like you could play a card, change its name, and then play this at a breakpoint of 4, which demands a block. So it is good.
Yeah. I gave it 3 stars as well. It's a blue free that blocks for 3 and has an upside that doesn't seem too hard to pull off to make it a 0 for 4. But so like, because it turns on Kodachis and blocks for 3 is a card I would use. And because Bonds is like a rare, it's a little bit harder, but you know, it's not too terribly bad.
Being able to change the names of cards is like makes it really hard to
evaluate them.
Yeah, like how often am I going to get to like manipulate my combo line in a game? But
totally.
Anyway, head leads the tail. What do you got?
I gave it 3 stars just because it could be a 1 for 5 with Go Again, and you can have like a, a little build around combos around head leads the tail. You know, its only knock it really has against it is that it's like a two blocker, but it's basically could be like a 1 for 5 in some scenarios.
Yeah, I also gave it 3 stars. Pretty good.
Awesome.
Blocks for 2.
Not great. Yeah.
All right. Wander with Purpose, the Benji specialization with the cool art.
Totally. 4 stars, baby.
Nice.
5 because it has a dog in the artwork. Also a Carlos Kerchaga. Before I get to how good this card is, I love this artwork so much of just the young wandering Ronin in a kind of wet morning, maybe evening, bustling metropolis. I just freaking love it. Plus the dog, extra points, baby. So it's like an unblockable card with Go Again that blocks for 3 for Benji, and it has the tutor effect, which is good. You know, it has like everything you want. It like goes and gets me another card. Perfect. And you can't block it. Awesome. And it has Go Again. Great. You know,
yep.
And in a pinch, I can Kadachi free thing by pitching it. So love it.
Yeah, I also gave it 4 stars for all those reasons. Very strong. If it was blue, I might give it 5 stars.
Oh yeah, it'd be broken if it was blue.
Yeah, it's still just like a 0 for 2. Not part of a broken combo line. So the card you're fetching is like additional damage or to fix an upcoming combo. You know, it's like it does have a ceiling there, but still just really good value. Blocks 3.
Hell yeah. How about Silverwind Shuriken?
1 star.
1 star as well. Terrible. Nice.
Moving on. Blitz is too fast. If it blocks 3, I would be into it. Draw it turn 0, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
love it. No, terrible.
Fuck no. My action point for 1 damage in the future. I'll be dead by then.
Or they will. Visiting the Floating Dojo, the final Majestic.
5 stars.
Wow. I love it. You love giving 5 stars.
I do. I think I give 10.
You would pack stars. One, pick this one over other cards in the set.
Well, I might change my answer once I played a bunch of times, but it's just really, really powerful, right? You're like ensuring, especially if you have like Mask of Many Faces or something, you can play this card and ensure that you are drawing your broken combo. And again, in limited, like the power level of your deck is fairly low. So if you're putting these like gas cards on top of your deck or the bottom to pitch stack them, it's like, I think that's inherently really, really good. It's also an instant, so it does not take your action point to use.
Yep.
And ability, which is nuts.
I just don't see a world where you can... I mean, the world where this card is pretty good is perhaps not going to come up as often, where you have full tempo and they have to block with their whole hand, so you can just safely draw into those next 2 cards to keep your momentum going. But I could be wrong, so I gave it 2 stars because that's the application I see it most in limited. Because it is a 0. I didn't give it 1 star because it's a 0 blue, so it can turn on Kodachis. And like you said, it's an instant, so it doesn't take your action point. But the upside on it, I think, in a limited game is lower. Like it has to be the right part in the game for it to work.
That's fair. Yeah, I just imagine, like, say I've just pitched my Dishonor and then I draw this. Block for 9, play this, put my Gust Wave and Bonds on the bottom. You know, but it may turn out that this format is too fast to see second cycle, which would be disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't think that will be the case, but it may be. In which case you'll have to put 2 cards on top, which is like still very good, but maybe less good. I don't know.
Also, sick deck you drafted where you have this Majestic and Dishonor, and you got the correct bonds. I love
Oh,
it.
totally. Yep. I figure between all of the play or the combo lines, you'll be like pretty deep in one of them,
Yeah.
right? So it was actually pretty hard for me to rate the following cards because they're all just like all of the combo lines are good if you have consistent combo lines. They're all like very bad if you don't,
Yeah.
right? So it was fairly hard to value them. Anyway, my point being, I could be wrong about Visit the Floating Dojo. Just it seems inherently powerful.
Well, speaking of bonds of ancestry, that's the next card. Ninja Rare combo. Cost 2, attacks for 4, blocks for 3. I gave it 4 stars because Gust Wave, the Gust Wave you need is a common. So at red, obviously Bonds is, I think, a 4-star. At blue, it's like much less. But I do think it's really good because it's a rare, so it's likely you can have either one or two of these, maybe the yellow, maybe the red, and then Gust Wave is a common, so it's likely that you'll have it. So this is like an easier combo to pull off.
Yep, I agree. 4 stars. And yeah, the blue is not 0 cost, so it's a little bit rougher. This card's insane though, in that it does not have to hit.
Yeah.
So it's just a 0 for 8.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Or complete some combo line.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah. I really like it. 4 stars for sure. How about Recoil?
I also gave Recoil 4 stars.
Oh, nice.
I think it's pretty good, right? So like if you play Head Jab into this, you're just threatening 6 damage with 2 cards. This blocks for 3, and you're threatening a card in their hand. So you're disrupting them pretty effectively. If you're leaning heavily into the Head Jab line, I think it's good.
Yeah. Oops, I was looking at the wrong one. I gave this 3 stars and maybe a little bit more in Benji because it's like a blue. Well, I mean, even the freaking yellow works, right? In old Bingers.
Unless you pump it.
But, yeah.
Yep.
But so those 2 are really good, I think, in Benji, and maybe are like 4 stars because then you're dealing damage and stripping a card. If you're against Azalea, maybe you get dominated by the worst arrow, but whatever, you know. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I agree. Because then you're trading a card for a card and damage, which is like right where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
How about wheel kick? You go first.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. Red and yellows are the best, but it kind of loses points because it blocks for 2. But it's pretty good. And twin sisters, twin twisters, is also common. So this is like a easier combo to pull off for sure. Even though it like costs 2 resources to do both of these cards, I still think it's good.
Yeah, that was part of it for me, is like the cost of twin twisters and this starts getting expensive. I gave it 2 stars. You could argue for 3, right? It's just like, it's just leg tap with an upside. You know, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also in Katsu, like threatening the card fetch ability is always pretty good. But.
Yeah. How about back heel kick?
3 stars.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I might downgrade it to 2 though, depending, because it doesn't have go again.
Yeah, that's fair. Blocks for 3 though. The classic ninja conundrum.
Yeah, it's just pretty nice.
Its 0 cost is a little bit more friendly. Like you can play Kadachi, and twin twisters, and then this at 0 for 5.
Yeah,
which is pretty good. So then for a 3 card hand, you're playing 1, 1, 3, 5 or 1, 1, 4, 4.
Yeah.
which is like pretty good. And this blocks for 3. So you only have 1-2 block in that scenario, maybe.
Yay. How about what's the next one? What did we just do?
Be like water.
Be like water. I have this at 3 stars. We're changing names. It's free. A 3 that has go again.
Yeah. Yeah, I give this 4 stars. Because
Nice.
it's just a head jab at base. Maybe not great because it's not part of a combo line, but then if you pay into it, and I haven't analyzed all the cost curves of all the combo lines to see how annoying that will be, but if you pay into it, then it like fixes any of your combo cards, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
these combo cards kind of only require like 2 cards or 3 cards. So this could be a really huge enabler if you can afford it.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars, just mainly because then all of a sudden you're like, if it pays for itself, like the head jab line is a little bit better because it's more free, so that's good. But then the twin twisters line, now we need to have a blue to do everything, and it blocks for 2. Is the reason it only gets 3 stars for me, but I still think it's a pretty good staple card to smooth things out. Speaking of staple cards, Deadly Duo. Would you give this bad boy?
2 stars.
Oh, nice. I gave it 3.
Oh, nice. I mean, like, so the dream, right? Like, so if you open this with Benji, then it's likely going to hit and you get pretty huge value out of it. In every other scenario, it's like fairly bad, right? Like it costs 1 for 3, go again, blocks for 2.
Yeah.
I
gave it 3 stars. Obviously, it's very good in Benji for a variety of combination reasons. I think I like the blue the best because you can play it and then like maybe give a much better card +2, like, because they don't really want to block like Kadachi Deadly Duo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you give something +2 that you might have. So then spinning wheel kick now is a 1 for 7 or 1 for 6,
Yeah.
or something like that. So I think that's pretty valuable. That's why I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah, I mean the upside on this. So if you open with the yellow with Benji, it's like 1 for 2, and then your next card gets +3. So you're kind of paying for 1 for 5 go again, which is pretty good at a yellow. But yeah, I wasn't sure how clunky that would be. How often that would be clunky, I guess I should say. Descendant Gust Wave. What do you
3
got?
stars. 4
Nice.
if surging is before it, but maybe not the blue.
Yep. Yeah, I give it 4 stars. I think this combo line is very powerful, and this is kind of what you want to be doing. And it just becomes a 0 for 5 go again when you enable it, either with a real surging or like a name change or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if it's like Kadachi, pitch a blue, play surging, then play red Descendant Gust Wave, that's 11 damage.
Yeah.
If it's the red surging, which is just a lot off of 3 cards.
Yeah. 0 for 5 go again is like, it's more than a quarter of their health, or a quarter of their health.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful.
Head jab.
I give head jab 3 stars. I don't know. 0 for 3 go again. Part of combo line.
3 stars. A classic is what I wrote.
Nice.
1-2 punch.
4 stars.
I did 3 stars or 4 if it's Benji. You can see a theme here.
Yeah. I think I like the head jab combo line. I seem to have rated those cards pretty highly just because they're all 0 for 3s or
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
you know?
Just blue head jab, blue or yellow head jab into blue 1-2 punch is just the actual game winning combo for Benji. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
you're going to deal 6 unblockable damage, 2 really unblockable damage.
Yeah.
You know, so boom.
Yeah,
You
pretty
know,
good.
4 stars with Benji. And in my
this
notes
card
I
just
did
has
say
value too, you know?
yeah, my notes do say maybe it is actually just a 4, even though I said it's a 3.
I also think so. A lot of these breakpoints, as far as stealth cards and cards like 1-2 punch, are only at 3 value, which is not a breakpoint, but in limited is oftentimes more of a breakpoint, right? Like, say you're a ranger, hopefully you just have an extra arrow and you just block really evenly. But a lot of times, you know, like I'd be playing like Monarch Draft or something, and your freaking deck has like 12 block 2s, and they're like the bad cards or whatever. So I'm kind of waiting to see, like, more times than not, actually 3 could be a pertinent breakpoint. Whereas
Right.
if you come in with head jab and then red 1-2 punch, and you're like, I got to block 3, you know,
Yeah.
it may be more relevant than you expect.
I totally agree. We'll have to see. Somebody I feel like has tracked the average block value in the sets, and Monarchs is lower than Uprisings, I believe.
I'd believe it.
And then like Tales of Aria is in between those, I think, something like that. Almost done here with Ninja Surging Strike.
What did you get?
3 stars, a classic.
Nice. Yeah, I put 4 stars.
Nice.
2's a lot, but it is also part of your powerful combo line.
Yeah.
And just 5's a lot of damage. And you have Kodachis, right? So it's a 2-card 6 damage turn, leaking 1. And then it goes up from there.
Yeah. I mean, I give it a 3 because it runs into the, like, you want to have it, so you're going to pick up blues and yellows, but those don't pitch to Kodachis from my time remembering Welcome to Wraith draft. So it's like, you can't have too many because you need to pitch them potentially.
Yeah.
You know, and then they block for 2. So it gets a 3.
That's very true. The yellow is very threatening in Katsu as well because of the breakpoint and the Katsu fetch, which is pretty annoying.
It totally is.
Like, very annoying.
Last one here. Twin Twisters.
3 stars.
Nice. I gave 2 stars. I think it's the weakest combo line.
That's fair. I was rating it on its own, not actually on the line. I think the line's okay. It's just a flexible leg tap also. So, you know.
Yeah.
3 stars.
I guess at worst, it's like a 1 for 4 with Go Again.
Yeah.
I think pick the other commons ahead of this one. I think is my point. Is like I would rather pick Surging, Head Jab, even Deadly Duo, you know, over Twin Twisters.
Yeah, definitely. That's totally fair. I just saw like flexible leg tap. Sure.
Totally. Kind of
you're right.
In a vacuum.
The synergy of your deck is what's going to make the difference, not like the power of each card, right? Because the combo lines together go way up in power.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just doing like leg taps, it's like good, but not as good as if your deck has synergy.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. If you're trying to just play Value Town, but you might get outvalued by the assassins. But so I think that was one of the, and maybe I should have said this at the beginning of the episode. Now you're an hour 14 or so into it. I tried to improve upon my set review from Uprising and learn, like, I think I did a lot of the cards, valuing the cards maybe out of context, and tried to value them, think about what their value is in context of this set a bit more, was kind of my thought process through all of this.
Yeah. Well, and this, I guess all sets have synergy. Just this set, because it has ninja and combo lines, seems like the cards have a lot more of a synergistic weight to them
Yeah,
than, some sets or some heroes. But
totally. Speaking of synergistic stuff, Rangers. Foot twang. Arrow hits its mark for Ranger time.
all right. How do you feel about these Rangers?
I mean, I feel like Azalea is definitely the best. I think the best characters potentially maybe in order are Azalea, Benji, then ASC. That's how I
Nice.
feel.
That's a good hot take.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. So Azalea has this inherent ability to push damage and hit effects that's like really powerful,
Yeah.
but without much opt in the set, like, which is quite a bit different than Arcane Rising. There's like very little opt, and she doesn't have her headpiece. So I'm kind of unsure how often she's going to be able to actually pull off her ability, unless you're just kind of going to find a play pattern where you just kind of go for it.
Yeah.
And then if you hit a pump, you've saved an arrow. If you hit an arrow, great, you arsenal the arrow. I'm just kind of unsure. We'll see how it plays out. But it is a good way to close out games, being able to pump and dominate an arrow.
Yeah, it definitely is.
She also doesn't have Death Dealer.
Yep.
Which I'm sure they play tested with it and was like, we can't have Death Dealer in the set. It's too good. But that's a bit disappointing because now you're playing Azalea with one less card.
Right.
And then Riptide, I don't know. So there's like very cool play patterns where you can block with your traps, dealing damage at the same time. Very good. You can like play a pump and a free arrow and use his ability to just load it. And so fire for 7, but there aren't that many free arrows, and none of this really pushes damage unless you're just, I can see Riptide's games going pretty long and chippy, and your deck better be like dense enough to trap damage and chip damage them down, I guess is kind of my take.
I think Riptide is going to get more value out of the Assassin Ranger cards than anybody else. Is kind of my take. Is like I don't think cares as much about arrows versus attacks as potentially Azalea does. And maybe that's where the play space is, because he can do some pretty sick stuff like pitch a 3-card hand, play come to fight, and then just play a 6-costed attack. I mean, I guess anybody can freaking do that, but so never mind.
But yeah, he can also do that with like Virulent Touch or whatever, and Death Touch, or
Yeah. That's what. There we go. Thank you. So the first thing we can Trench of Sunken Treasure. I guess you pick it because it blocks.
Yeah, but I mean, I slam that card because it fixes bad arsenals and blocks, but
yeah.
It's not like Tunic or anything.
Would Quiver of Abyssal Depths, I don't know if I would pick that.
I actually think that's pretty good in limited.
Really? I guess it's better than Driftwood Quiver.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess that's an upgrade there.
Driftwood Quiver might get you out of a bind.
Totally. The thing you're maybe more likely to see is the Quiver of Rustling Leaves.
I give that 1 star. I guess maybe 2 star. I don't know. Like, it can fix a bad hand, but that makes you save cards to gamble. And I don't know.
I gave it 2 stars, but I'm not sure it's better than Crow's Nest.
That's the thing, is you want Crow's Nest more and you get it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to real cards potentially, or you have a point. Go for it.
I was just gonna say Driftwood Quiver is like bad, but actually in limited, like, so if you've arsenaled a trap and then they don't attack you, they like set up, or you know what I mean? It could be very like it could turn a 0 turn or a 3 damage turn into like a 10 damage turn once per game.
Right.
Even though the ability sucks, you know? So it might perform.
It's just so weird to just have what feels like a Band-Aid.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Like it's a token because
so you just get
Clunk.
it. Yeah, totally. It's like, fuck, we really are running into this problem. All right, let's make quivers. And this quiver will be the Band-Aid of this, is what it feels like. And so it's hard to like it. I mean, it's the same thing with Crow's Nest. It's like, well, fuck, we don't have a way to, we can't put Sandscour Great Bow in here. So we're just going to do this one. Which then like Riptide can't even use. Okay, anyway. The quivers are weird and good. Let's move on to something we do get a pick. Wayfinder's Crest.
Yep. As Colin pointed out in the reaction step, this card has really cool art.
It totally does.
It's quite a bit different and it's good. What I put this at 4 stars.
Boom. Yep. Me too. 4 stars. I would pick this pick one for sure.
It has the defend and, which is pretty cool. So in the late game where you're blocking a Orbitoclast and you get to try to like dominate your next attack.
Yeah.
Or see if you're going to whiff or not and then block if, you know what I mean? It's just, that's really, really powerful.
Yeah, totally. That information is super needed in Azalea.
Yep.
Amplify Arrow.
1 star.
Oh, really? Am I missing something?
I don't know. What do you got?
I gave it 4 stars because if you put it into, you turn it face up, and then if you play a free pump, it's basically like 2 for 6, which is fine.
Yeah,
you know,
that is pretty good.
And it blocks for 3. It's pretty good.
It is. So
or
in a
2 card for 6. It costs you 0 resources for 6 damage.
Yeah. So Riptide will be able to load this for free. In Azalea, you will have to pre-arsenal it or pay to load it.
Yeah.
Which then makes it 1 cost. Yeah. But anyway. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's decent. I just don't like that it's yellow. But I guess that's fine.
Barbed Undertow. The other majestic.
I put this at 4 stars.
Nice.
I don't know if you like even need 3, right? Because it doesn't do anything without the aim counter, but with it, it's really good. So if you're, if you're able to like pitch stack this or set it up, it's powerful.
Yeah. I gave it 3 stars. I was just unsure how useful its ability is going to be.
Yeah. That's
you know what I mean? Because you don't get a look at the hero's hand, and it's like cost curves are all over the place and limited. So it's still like a good arrow. So 3 stars.
Yeah. That's probably accurate. Doesn't do shit without a name counter.
Yeah, it doesn't. Not at all.
All right. Buzzsaw Trap. Getting into the legendary Riptide traps.
So I kind of have all of these just at 3 stars. Like at base, they're 3 block, 3 resource with some sort of upside that in one of your 3 matches potentially during the draft you could pull off. So 3 stars for all 3 of them.
Yeah, I gave Buzzsaw Trap 4 stars because again, yeah, sometimes it's online. And a blue 3 defense reaction is really good. I gave Collapsing Trap 5 stars.
Nice. Yeah, that maybe is pretty applicable.
It's just like a game, right? Like a Kodachi or an Orbitoclast or whatever
Yeah.
block their, and especially in limited, like they're drawing up one less card and it's probably some sort of jank,
Yeah.
so their power play they took damage for, you just blow them out with this card is how I see it. If it's not online, arsenal it, pitch it, whatever. Spiked Pit Trap I did give 3 stars because still blue 0 for 3 reaction, but its ability is like meh,
Totally. The only thing I gave, and I guess Collapsing Trap, the reason I didn't give all of them the same is because in Collapsing Trap, it's just hard to know. Like Azuri might only be doing one attack, which then it's just fine. And so like, if you're in the mirror, it feels like 50% of the time it might not work, but who knows? But when it does work, backbreaking. So maybe it should be 5 stars because the upside on it is so good.
That's fair. I guess I didn't think about it that hard. At worst,
what are you doing then, man? Come on, this is our deep dive. The people are relying on you to think hard.
So at worst, it's just a blue block 3, right? Or it's a blue block 3 and denies them that card they were saving for their arsenal,
right?
Which is fairly pertinent. And then at best, the ceiling's super high. But you're right. At worst, it's not great. If they're not even saving a card to arsenal, it doesn't do much. That's fair. Melting Point. What do you got?
4 stars.
Yep, I got 5 stars.
Yeah, it's so good versus 4 of the heroes.
And it's like a 1 for 4 pump, which is what you want to be doing in Ranger, especially Azalea. And it blocks 3.
Yeah.
Because it's a Majestic, it gets to cheat and block 3. That's why it's 5 stars for it. Yeah, I can't believe it blocks 3.
And then if it's like early in the game, it also says save yourself like 9 damage potentially. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they don't have another dagger. Yeah. Super good.
Yeah. Worst case, you didn't plan on the aim counter. You can't get an aim counter, but then it's just still 1 for 4 block. It's just.
Yeah. Maybe it should be 5 stars. Well played, sir. Boulder Trap.
2 stars.
Nice. I put 3 stars.
Well, none of the equipment has any blocking ability.
Oh, right.
I guess that's not true. Some of the equipment does have blocking
ability. That's
true.
Yeah, 2 stars.
But
misplay by me. 2 star. 2 star trap.
The Seeker's equipment is like pay 1, prevent a damage.
Right.
So.
Right.
Anyway.
2 stars.
Pendulum Trap.
2 stars.
Ooh, I got 4 stars.
Ooh, cool.
I guess it's not always online, but it always blocks 3. I was just thinking like milling their deck for 2 cards is really, really strong. Because a lot of times you only have X amount of powerful cards in limited, and like, I don't know, just having 2 less cards sucks.
Yeah, well, it has to be this chain link that it defends. So it just doesn't hit that many, like it doesn't work on Azalea or in the mirror. And who knows? I mean, Assassin, I guess it's likely. Ninja's unlikely. So yeah, but the 2 cards off the top in a 30 card deck is pretty huge, but 2 stars.
Yeah, I think you may have talked me out of it, just because. Well, because in Ranger it's like, so this is a Ranger only trap, and then in Ranger you can't like save a card in Arsenal for when it's pertinent.
Mm-hmm.
So the odds of drawing this when it's pertinent are like low unless you're playing against Assassin. So,
and it's super bad in Azalea.
Yeah,
like pass. Tar Pit Trap.
4 stars.
Awesome. I gave this is my best trap. I gave it 3 stars.
Nice.
Most applicable.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I guess like against Arachne, which I think you'll probably see a lot of, it's just really good, right? Because then their next stealth card, the reaction they play on it, like none of it. I mean, it's damage, but
Yeah.
you
Well,
want to be
but
blocking for 3 anyway, so you just block it and get huge value.
it hits every ninja card basically, and some assassin cards.
Yeah.
And it'll even hit like when you try to get cute and freaking Falcon shot me, you know, and then I tar pit you.
Nice. Good thing it's a rare, because that would get annoying.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
It's like Flick Flack. I used to side out Rabbles in Azalea because of freaking Flick Flack would just get turned on, right? It's like that kind of deal. Just get punished for playing well.
How about the Fletch cards?
The red Fletch card, I have at 4 stars. Because I just value pumps really highly. Maybe there's enough pumps in this set that they won't be as pertinent. Right. But just like historically, like in Arcane Rising and in Tales of Aria, pumps were like really, really powerful. It's like what you need to be doing. So I put the red here at 4 stars. I do think these are cool how the ability changes depending on the color.
And the arrow. Like in the art.
Oh, yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just gave
got?
them a blanket 3 stars because it's like it's a 1 for 4 base, which is excellent, and then it maybe has a relevant on hit. So 3 stars. Would not be upset if I picked these. You know, I would pick these over traps in both Rangers.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also lumped all of the Lace with X cards as well so Lace with Blood Rot, Frailty, and Inertia. I gave all of those 3 stars.
Nice. Okay, so you're gonna hate me, but I gave Lace with Blood Rot 5 stars.
I don't hate you. I just think it's hilarious.
I gave the other 2 3 stars.
Nice.
It's just like a 0 for 5 pump if it hits, you know?
Yeah, it's really good.
Which is just like such value.
Totally.
Or you like buy their whole hand blocking your arrow for 8. You know, it's good.
Totally. It just the only reason I didn't move them up is because they're pretty narrow. They're just red pumps that block for 2. You know?
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
then if it is relevant for the hit effect, I do think Blood Rot is for sure the best one. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see, I guess, like as the set goes on.
I might pick Lace with Blood Rot, pack 1, pick 1.
Yeah, I probably would too.
You know, yeah. And then if I'm not in Ranger, that's okay.
I would pick it over.
You're like setting yourself up.
I would value it. So maybe I should give it 4 stars because it's definitely better than Fletch a Red Tail.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. Falcon Wing.
Change it to 4 stars. 3 stars. Cool. Solid card.
Yep, me too.
Infecting
Especially
shot.
in Riptide.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna bang out rapid fire these arrows.
Infecting shot, I also gave 5 stars.
I gave it 4 stars. It's probably the best arrow. I'd pack 1, pick 1. This also.
Yeah, it's a tough break point. If you pump it, it's a really tough break point, and if you dominate it, it's like bananas. Like Blood Rot's just what I want to be doing. So
yeah,
that's where I got it.
Merkmile Grapnel.
1 star.
Oh, nice. I gave it 3 stars. In the red, it's a 0 for 4 arrow.
Yeah, that's fair.
0 for 5 arrow if it has a aim counter. So then it's a 1 for 5. So it's on rate. So
yeah, that's good. Maybe it should be 2 star. Like in Riptide, having 0 for 4s is good because you don't have to pitch at all.
Yeah. So it's I think it's one of your staple arrows. 3 stars.
Yeah. Nice.
Sedation Shot.
3 stars.
3 stars as well.
It's I mean, you want red arrows, right? Number one. And then this is to some degree online or okay to like fairly impactful. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great, you know.
Skybound shot.
2 stars.
What did I put on here? Oh, 2 stars.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
2 for 6, basically.
It's like, yeah, 2 for 5 or 2 for 6. No hit effect.
Yeah.
Jump through a hoop, right? You can get 2 for 6s out of the generic pool. I guess it blocks for 3, but anyway.
Spire sniping.
I gave it 4 stars, specifically thinking of Azalea.
I gave it 4 and then 5 in Azalea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it has the first bit of text when it is put into Arsenal or turned face up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you like barb cast away it to flip it up or whatever and put a name counter on it. And then you can Azalea in the hotness. So yeah, it's super good. Would take in all colors.
Yeah, this is a really well worded arrow. Because like even in CC, it works really well with Skullbone cross wrap, right? So you can like Arsenal it, then turn it face up and it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very good. I agree. It's exactly what Azalea wants to be doing, especially with, like we talked about, the maybe difficulty in opting in the set.
Yeah, exactly. So the more to a degree of these you have, the better, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Widow Maker.
I gave this 3 stars and more stars in Azalea, maybe.
I gave it 3 stars. And it's like pretty good in all colors, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the blue
even
is
the
a good blue.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't get the extra push because it's just damage. So it then takes like another card for it to get over some of the other arrows, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would just pick the other arrows ahead of it that we talked about. Like I would take Spire sniping and infecting shot before I would pick Widowmaker.
Yeah, agreed.
You know,
and it's better in limited because a lot of the equipment does not have block value, so you can't just like cheat its pump,
right? Because it says cards, not actions. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Withering Shot. What do you got?
3 stars. Best versus 4 of the heroes.
Nice. Yeah, me too. 3 stars.
Excellent. Man, we did a great job through Ranger right there. Assassin/Ninja. So I did have something to say about Flick Knives. This is the best legendary in the game in terms of like what you can draft, because it's like unblockable Goliath Gauntlet, you know? And so it's 5 stars in my opinion. This is the one you would want.
Yeah, it's like deal 2 unblockable damage.
Yeah.
In the game. Which is, and then that does not destroy Flick Knives, so it's block 1. So you're getting 3 points of value more because it's unblockable. Yeah. Agreed. Insane.
5 stars, slam dunk that thing. How about Mask of Shifting Perspectives?
I gave this 3 stars. I think its hand filter power or ability is really good, or it blocks 1. I don't think this equipment is really good, but just equipment is really good in limited, right? So if you have the option to filter your hand or block 1, that's like almost better than any card in your deck. So I landed on 3 stars. How did you read this?
I gave it 3/2, and it's gonna kind of depend on like what you said, like how it plays out in the limited set. Like I can fully see this rising in value, but it's hard to know how that hand filtering is really going to matter. It definitely could be part of some sort of combo for sure. Not like ninja combo, but combo of cards that you would need or something like that. How about Blade Cuff?
4 stars.
Nice. I give it 3 stars.
Yeah, I mean, same thing, right? Like, I just imagined if you ever draw a blue heavy hand in which you're not forced to block too much, this just like enables more damage at weird breakpoints. It also blocks 1. Maybe you're going to block with it most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard in Assassin because then if you want to get the full value, it's 4 damage for 6 resources. But in Ninja, it's a little bit better. It's 4 resources for 4 damage. So, but just because it like also has, at worst, it's going to block 1 damage. You know what I mean? And that's always valuable. So 3 stars.
Yeah, like if this didn't block, I might give it like 2 stars. But it blocks 1.
Yeah.
So I'll probably give it 4 stars. It's just like the value and equipment. All right. First Majestic, Stab Wound.
I said it's a 3 stars. It's a 0 that blocks for 3. But it's not a reason to be like, oh, I should be playing Assassin or Ninja.
Yeah, that's fair. I give it 4 stars. I guess kind of the same. Like, it demands a block. It's a blue 0 block for 3.
Yeah. It also like is way better in Benji because it's kind of unblockable in a sense.
Yeah, for like 4 damage, 4 unblockable damage in Benji.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So maybe it is 5 stars if you're Benji.
Yeah.
Concealed Blade.
1 star.
Yep. I gave it 2 stars because it's a 0 blue that blocks for 3, so it has value in the decks, but is too cute. So 2 stars.
Really? I guess that's a good point, right? Like it's just like a lunging press that blocks for 3, so it's not really.
If lunging press blocked for 3, it would be in every deck.
Yeah, I guess this is not really a 1 star. 2 stars then.
2 stars. Knives Out.
2 stars.
Yeah, also 2 stars. Could be a good gotcha moment, But at that point, you've seen that they have Knives Out pitched, so
Or
my
played.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like you get them on the first dagger, but then they're going to have to block the second dagger. So then you get an extra card and an extra damage, but it costs you a whole card. It's fine.
It could be a good gotcha moment, but you either haven't blocked anything all game and don't know your opponent has this card first cycle, or it's late in the game and you do know your opponent has this card. In which case they probably blocked with it anyway.
Bleed Out.
2 stars. 2 conditional.
Ooh. Nice. I have it at 3 stars.
Nice.
Just because so I feel like specifically in Ninja, right? In Assassin, I think it's much worse. Blocks for 2.
Yeah.
But for me in Ninja, what you want to be doing is Kadachi anyway. So then this is a 0 for 4 go again.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know. I think it's like 4 stars in Ninja. But
yeah, it could be better. I just feel like there are better Ninja cards I would pick over this.
Yeah.
In a rare slot.
I just think about like Blaze Headlong or Rabble, just like 0 for 4s are just so good. 0 for 4 go again.
But it's like, yeah, it's kind of like a 2 for 4 go again because you need to spend a card to have your Kodachis hopefully hit.
Yeah, I assume Kodachis are always hitting.
Yeah, early game for sure.
I mean, yeah, if you're spending a card to block a Kodachi, you're probably not winning.
Yeah.
But
so cool. I like it that these cards are like harder to figure out, and that's going to
Mhm.
make drafting more fun. How about Hurl?
I gave Hurl 2 stars.
I did 3 stars in Benji for a 2 damage win.
Ooh, nice.
I love Benji, apparently.
I know.
Everything
I
I'm
like
Benji could do it. There's just so many ways for Benji to win the game, though. That's the crazy part, you know?
Yeah. You just play a normal ninja thing, and then all of a sudden it's 6 unblockable.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And I think it's pretty good in ASC for them to go wider as well. To just have like now you have Hurl, stealth card with Go Again, another stealth card.
I love the ASC.
It's just so much better than Arachne solitary confinement.
Yeah.
You know. How about Plunge?
I lost my spot. You go first.
I gave Plunge 2 stars.
Oh, yep, me too.
It's like the best it gets is 6 damage for 3 resources.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 1 for 4, but the breakpoint it adds reduces its own breakpoint, so you're not pushing any more damage. You know? Short and sharp.
This is my 1-star card. This is my least favorite card.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is the one I was mentioning earlier in the podcast, which I couldn't remember its name. And here we are. We've made it.
Sick. I gave it 4 stars.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Let's hear it. Why do you hate this card?
It blocks 2, costs 1, and it has to be on a dagger, which is fine, I guess. That's like I think its best mode is you pitch a blue, you play Kodachi, they don't block it, and then now your Kodachi does 4 damage and you win the game. That would be the best. But the target action card with 2 or less space gets +3.
The Benji card?
I don't like it as much.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it because even if it's not late game, it's just surprise free damage on a dagger, or the Benji factor, I guess is why I liked it. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I was done talking. I just don't think it's good, but I would love it if it was.
I like these contentious takes. It's more fun.
And it's only really good, if anything, in the red. It's so bad in the other 2 colors. +2 or +1.
Oh, yeah. It's only red for me.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Hard pass. Assassin Ranger cards.
Mask of Malicious Manifestations. Also, sorry to everyone if you're listening and not following along on the website and you're like, I don't know what these cards do. This podcast sucks. Sorry, but it's a choice between we literally read every card and give our takes and it's a 4-hour podcast, or we don't. And it's more concise and digestible. So we went with the latter.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do?
And you should have these cards memorized anyway before you go into draft.
All of them. There will be a test.
Yeah, there. It's called 3-0ing your draft pod. Mask of Malicious Manifestations, maybe best named card in the set. 5 stars.
Ooh, nice. It is very good. I put 4 stars.
It's so good.
But
yeah, it's so good. It could block if you needed to, and it's a Crown of Seeds. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I especially like it because it fixes like a Ranger brick hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or an Assassin brick hand, but they have more attacks. Just that's very, very valuable.
Yeah, totally.
Toxic Tips.
I said 3 stars, and I think it's a little bit better in Azalea.
Ooh, nice. I almost gave this 5 stars, but I dialed it back to 4.
Nice. Yeah. 3 solid, better in Azalea, 4 stars.
I just figure it's like pay 1, deal 2 damage. If you're like at the end of the chain and they have already blocked with all their cards, or you dominate a card with Azalea.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just good. And it blocks 1, right? So it's pay 1, deal 2 damage, or block 1.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Codex of Blood Rot, I gave 3 stars.
Yeah, I don't. So I gave Codex of Frailty 5 stars because it
Awesome.
fetches back your best attack.
Yeah.
And the other 2 I gave 4 and put unsure. Because they're just very good, but it's like a whole extra card. But they automatically give token. They're just the play patterns are very complex.
Yeah. These are some of the hardest to rate on my end. So I went really low and went 3-2-2.
Nice. I just went high not knowing. I think Frailty is really good. Another thing to note is that for your opponent, this is not optional.
Yeah.
So if their arsenal is free, they have to do this, which is usually beneficial, especially in limited, because they'll get their best card back. But I just think that's interesting as well. Not an option. You're both reading this gross book and doing the things.
Oh, that's funny. Death Touch.
I put 5 stars at red.
I put 3 stars at red in that I think it's the best probably in Azuri because you can cheat the cost. You can just play around. It's like clunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like because Riptide can play it fairly easily.
Yeah.
Uzuri can play it really easily. ASC can you can arsenal it and play it at the end of the chain if you're not like Riptide or whatever. To me, it's just like really versatile and like a 1 for 8. So
yeah. But it like it just has this hoop you have to jump through. So I think that's why I gave it less. And that's why.
I guess I gave it, so I don't even know if I even want 3 in my deck, but I think I gave it 5 stars because I can imagine this being a pack 1, pick 1 for me, depending on how the pack's made up. But at red, just a 1 for 6 is pretty good. So,
yeah.
Especially if you dagger them and then hit them with this, then it's like their hand all blocks for 2. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. ASC, it's really good because you can go like Spider's Bite, Infect, Death Touch off of a blue, which is 10 damage for 3 resources and 3 cards.
Yeah. Plus the 2 hit effects threatened.
Yeah. It's pretty good. But it just still blocks for 2 and has this fucking weird hoop and like doesn't work in Azalea at all. Like doesn't work with a lot of pumps because they say arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it gets a knockdown for that.
Yeah. Significantly lower in Azalea.
Don't play it. Toxicity.
What do you got?
2 stars.
Yep. I gave it 3 stars.
My reasoning for 2 is because it doesn't pump the arrow. So the arrow has to hit for it to have that value. So it either needs to have a pump with it or you need to dominate it for it to actually be good. And in Assassin, I just don't see where it's going to be good. You know? I guess you can play it in front of like you play the blue one and then your blue 1 attack and now you're forcing them to like block or take 4 damage and get a Blood Rot token potentially. So that's like maybe good value there, but then you have like blue toxicity in your deck and it blocks for 2.
Yeah, I agree. It's like this card's either broken or really bad, right? Because it's 0 for 5, but it reminds me a lot of Poison the Tips. Because all you're doing is like, if you just play this, then an arrow for 5, it's like you're forcing them to block. So you buy 2 cards, but you just buy 2 cards with your 2 cards. At that point, you'd rather like have a pump.
It's the Phantasma.
If you get it with a dominate, then you're like, well, this is broken. I 0 for 5 them.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the transmogrify or whatever that one was from Uprising that changes your like weenie attack into like a big illusionist attack.
Oh yeah.
What was that card called?
That card Transmogrify.
Oh yeah. That's
That
I
card's
think
bad.
that this card of that set. But when it's good, it's crazy good. You know?
Totally. I might just blind Azalea hoping to, to trigger this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if
totally.
you
You're
can't
like,
trigger it, you're like, I just hope I hit an arrow to
yeah.
put it online.
uh what are we on now?
Virulent. I don't even know what this word is.
It probably is.
Virulent touch.
I bet it's virulent, like virus.
It's a gross word.
2 stars. And I put here, maybe I'm undervaluing this card.
Sick. Yeah, I put 4 stars.
Nice.
Why 2 stars? Since we're
It's the same thing like that Death Touch has, that it's like hard to play. Like Azuri can cheat it, but like Azuri, I guess, could just do something else for 2 cards. That's just going to do 4 damage. And then it's only good at the end of the game when they do have to block to get like the maximum value out of it. And then it's just like even worse as it is a yellow or a blue.
This is good. I think we're considering cards through the lenses of the heroes we think about more,
Well, like,
which is good for this review.
Terrible in Azalea for the same reasons of Death Touch. And then I think Riptide has better cards he could play for free.
Gotcha. So, yeah. Fair points. I think that I like this card in Riptide or Arachne. Right. Riptide for obvious reasons. It's really easy to play it. In Arachne, it's really easy to play also because it's like free damage. Right. So if you block with a card, you leak 3 damage or you push 3 damage, right? 1 and then a blood rot. Yeah. If they don't block, it's 4 free damage. They're just like for 1 card, 0 for 4. They're going to take some damage somehow. Unless
but it's
they're playing like fatigue.
It's a 0 for 4. You like that sucks at blocking and you have to play it from Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just has like a lack of flexibility that I think you can get better value elsewhere. But like I put in my notes, maybe I'm undervaluing its applications and it's maybe easier to just do.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking of like the upside, especially in Riptide. But you're right. Like I would not pack one, pick one this at red.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Blood Rot Trap, Frailty Trap, Inertia Trap.
Blood Rot Trap, I put it 4 stars.
You love Blood Rot.
I do. It's just value. I can't help it.
It's just a red that blocks 3. So I put them as 2s, but then if you get them to trigger, I put them as 3s. Because there's no blue Blood Rot Trap. So you have to be playing against somebody who's activating attack reactions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's like 2 heroes. Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it
4.
still just blocks 3.
Yeah.
And in Riptide, it does not deal a damage, right?
Yep.
Well, so Frailty Trap, I put it 1 star. Because so the way the tokens work is they go away at the end of your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
So it's just like by the time you trigger the Frailty token, odds are it's not going to have any impact on the turn.
Right.
So to me, this card is like what you said, just a red block 3.
Yeah. That's a great point.
And then I put Inertia Trap at 3 stars because it's like the Inertia token does affect their potential arsenal.
Yeah.
But again, these are very conditional. So maybe they're 2 or 3 stars each because they're just conditional and otherwise red.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how like the frailty one is just like so bad because they've already Kadachi'd or whatever. But
Yeah. And then you have to spend your 3 block on a Kadachi to get value off of the other Kadachi. Yeah. Generics.
all right, the Seeker's set, as it's called.
Yeah, totally. I gave them all 3 stars. That they're all good. If you don't have like, I think all of the class equipment is better at, I think, each spot. But like, we don't have legs. So like maybe those are better. You know what I mean? And we don't have a lot of chess pieces. So those are probably like early picks. But so kind of just as a whole, generically, they're all just good. So 3 stars.
Yep. I also gave them all 3 stars. And they're kind of like the Ironhide set, where if you're going into them, you want to get like a set. So you can pitch a blue, block 3 damage at weird breakpoints. Yeah. And then you can like opt 3 and Azalea them to death, you know?
Yeah.
It is a little odd that, again, I because Azalea's in Arcane Rising also, and that set just had a bunch of generics that functioned really well in all the heroes. I'm just having a hard time with this set where I'm like, I mean, these all opt, which is awesome in Azalea, but just opt is less pertinent in the other heroes. There's just less synergy between like generics complementing all the heroes and or having like opt for Azalea. I think it's just what I'm hung up on. But anyway, so these are really good in Azalea, and if you can pitch a blue to do it, it's a pretty powerful play.
Yeah, and they works with peace of mind. You know? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's kind of a nice play there. Silken Gi.
I put Silken Gi at 4 stars. Because it's just a free resource.
Yeah, I think it's pretty conditional on like when it's really good. But
yeah, it just reminds me of like what's that, Silken Form?
Yeah.
Or you know, any of those cards that are just like one free resource on your turn are really good and limited. So when you have a hand that can't, you know, pay for stuff, you can block 3 more damage with a card and then use this. I think is what it translates into.
Yeah,
right?
maybe
like I have an all red hand. I can block with an extra card because I can use this to enable my turn.
Totally. I agree with you now. I had it really low and I don't think I read the card properly. So what'd you say? 4 stars?
Yeah.
4 stars, baby. Threadbare Tunic. I give it 2 stars. I feel like it's one of its best applications is to play Death Touch for free from Arsenal. Block with 4 cards.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
2 stars. I gave it 3 stars. I agree. This card is not great, but it's like a conditional free resource, which is still really good to have sitting on the table.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs.
3 stars. It's basically like breaking scales and you have to respect it the whole game.
Ooh, nice. I give it 1 star.
Nice.
I was just thinking it's very expensive and it doesn't block at all, and maybe you'll get a better arm piece. But,
yeah, totally. I can see that.
But maybe
I think it's 3 stars, but depending on what hero, you know, like if this is your backup arms and you didn't get other arms for your hero, totally fine.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. But how about Fleetfoot Sandals?
I also gave him 1 star.
Oh.
If you're playing Benji, I think that these probably go up to 3 or 4 stars. But it's just like if you're playing a card for 1 and giving it go again, maybe it's part of a combo, so you need to save it for Katsu and then it's online. But it's just like if I'm playing a card for 1, in my mind, I should have blocked with that card.
Yeah. I mean, you sometimes have weird hands Turn one, I don't know. I just I gave it 3 stars. I think it's going to be more useful than meets the eye because there's quite a few like one powered attacks that kind of have hit effects, and that if you can get the hit effect plus another card, you could like have a bit of a cheese play. I don't know.
That's true. That's a pretty good Uzuri play, like blue stealth card with the
Yeah.
hit effect, or they block it, give it go again.
Yeah.
Another stealth card,
Yeah.
or like whatever.
Yeah, totally. So
That's
I don't
fair.
know. Yeah. Now we're getting into the majestic attacks here. Amnesia.
I gave Amnesia 5 stars.
Nice.
It's just like a 2 for 6 blocks 3, which I'm really high on 2 for 6s in limited, because sometimes if your plan is not working, just 2 for 6ing them, like valuing them, is oftentimes really powerful in limited.
Yeah.
Because it trades one of your cards for multiples of theirs. Oftentimes it leaks damage because there's more block 2s. And then this also has a pertinent effect against Ninja. And it blocks 3, unlike other 2 for 6s. So it's just like does everything.
I just gave it 3 stars. Just super solid, but I think there are more powerful cards I would pick ahead of it still.
That's fair. It's not going to like break your deck, right? It's just value.
Happy to have it. Yeah, happy to have it. Down and dirty.
3 stars.
Nice. 2 stars. Just okay.
Yeah. I think it's pretty bad. It's just the 2 for 6 nature that I was like,
that you value.
2 for 6 can go in any deck, but yeah, it doesn't do much.
Give and take.
4 stars.
Nice. 3 stars.
I just gave it 3 or 4 because it blocks for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like a 1 for 3. Get any card back unless they take the damage. And if it's not working out for you, it blocks 3.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, really good. Unless they like block with an instant or something. But
yeah, no.
You have anything else on that card?
Nope. Good card. Fits in basically every deck. Gore belching.
Where do you got gore belching?
1 star.
Ooh, nice. I have it as 4 stars in Uzuri and 1 star everywhere else. Obviously.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah.
Burdens of the Past.
1 star.
2 stars.
I guess it blocks for 3.
Yeah, but wouldn't pick it over other stuff.
No, just doesn't. Blank text.
Yeah. Ponder Run.
Nice. 4 stars.
4 stars also. Premeditate is the name of the card. It's so good.
Yeah. Just replaces itself.
Pack one, pick one.
Yeah. Replaces itself, gives you that arsenal. Riptide can send it away. Azalea can send it away.
Yeah.
Love
it. Humble.
What did I give Humble? 3 stars again. Just another 2 for 6 that has an on hit.
Yeah, this one has a relevant on hit. 3 stars for me.
Yeah. What do you think of Infectious Host?
3 stars. I think you're going to have to I think there's going to be a lot of tokens, and being able to fling a 0 for 4 that gives a token is really good. And it doesn't have the hoops you got to jump through that virulent touch does. So I think it's better than that. So 3 stars.
Nice. Yeah, I gave this 2 stars. Because it's not really doing anything that you want to be doing except being a 0 for 4. And I was unsure how often you would have a token and this would come up, and flinging it back would be detrimental to them more so than what you would do besides this.
Right.
But I love this card. I love the design of it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it is cool.
Totally. Somebody fucking infected you or poisoned you, and you just run up to them and give it to them also.
Totally. Looking for scrap.
Where do you got this one?
3 stars if you're the right hero, 1 if you're not the right hero.
Yep. I have this at 4 stars. But I agree. It may be offline in a lot of decks. Just in Assassin or Ninja,
Yeah.
odds are this is a 1 for 5. And if you like have 2 in your deck or something, you're going to be purposefully blocking with cards that will turn it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1 for 5 go again is really good. Wreck Havoc. Where do you got
2
this?
stars.
Nice. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars just for the 2 for 6 nature, but blank text.
Cut down to size. I have 3 stars. Good hit effect.
Yeah, I have this at 4 stars. Same thing. Great card. Because maybe they have some block 2s, it's maybe not just buys 2 cards. Maybe it's like pretty awkward for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Destructive Deliberation.
2 stars.
Ooh. All right, why so?
Well, it's not a 2 for 6. It doesn't block for 2. And, it is at a break point. So you do have to give it 2 cards, which is kind of nice to make sure they don't get a ponder token. But if I'm like full tempo and this is the card you had in Arsenal with the 1 card you saved, I will take 5 damage and just keep hitting you.
Nice. Good point. I think maybe I'm too high on it.
And it's
4
like
stars because it replaces itself.
It gets so much worse if it's not the red too.
Yeah, I'm only thinking red.
Yeah.
A lot of these cards, I'm not picking the yellow.
I know.
As draft goes.
Totally. How about feisty locals?
I gave this 3 stars.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. Good effect. For sure.
Yeah, being like a 0 for 5, it reminds me of like militia or whatever.
Yeah, surging
militia. Yeah. Just 0 for 5 is really good, but if that's not what you want to be doing this turn, it's like it doesn't contribute at all.
Yeah.
I guess yellow, as feisty locals would behave,
Yeah, the yellow is I think good too, and the blue is just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh, so bad.
Freewheeling Renegades.
1 star.
Ooh, nice. I gave this 4 stars in like Ninja or ASC.
Yeah.
Because you can tag it on at the end of a chain. And then you're like buying their whole hand or, anyway. 1 star in Ranger.
Yeah, it's just like not good. Blue, bad. Yellow, bad. Red, okay, is a 1 for 4.
Yeah, I think maybe 3 stars.
1 star.
Nice. Ravenous Rabble. All right, the return card. What do you got?
3 stars. Good card.
Nice. 5 stars.
So you would pick Ravenous Rabble over a lot of other cards in the set.
Yeah, I'd pick Ravenous Rabble, red, pack 1, pick 1.
Nice. Okay, good. Yeah. Sweet.
So it peaks for Azalea.
Yeah, which is really
and it
good.
Also like you were saying, maybe Azuri could be kind of red line, or ASC could be really red line. Riptide and Azalea could be really red line, right? Like,
yeah.
If it has a 3 out of 4 chance of hitting, it's like basically a 0 for 4 go again.
Totally. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
3 stars. Seek Horizon.
3 stars.
Also 3 stars.
It's another pretty card hungry for the Azalea combo, but it's also just a 0 for 4. If not, it's all right.
Spring Load.
What do you got?
2 stars.
1 star.
Yeah.
This card's just like bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's just the red one could be okay, is why it's a 1 for 5.
It's just weird because it just like Benji's ability doesn't say base power, right? So it already pumps itself and then they can block it. And for like every situation, it just gets itself up to rate.
Yeah.
Actually, still below rate because it should be 1 for 5, block 3. So anyway, I don't get it. But,
Come to fight.
3 stars.
Yep, 3 stars.
Solid card.
Solid card.
Yeah. Scout the Periphery. What do you got?
3 stars in Azalea, 2 in others.
Nice. Yeah, I got 3 stars for that reason, though. Yeah, it's not. Not running it in like a lot of decks.
Yeah. What about Brush Off?
I have Brush Off at 3 stars. I think the red could be 4 stars. It just buys you insurance. Like picking the red early is just like insurance in every deck.
Yeah. I have it as 3 stars.
Nice.
Peace of Mind. The final card.
Peace of Mind at 1 star.
Nice.
What did you pick?
I put it at 2 stars because it fits with the Seeker close.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
I thought of that, and then when I was doing the ratings, I forgot to consider that part. But yeah, that makes it significantly better.
Yeah.
There's just arrows come in at a 5 break point, and it does block Dominate, but you're just 2 cards for 4 block in a set where there's not a lot of like snatches or that kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's weird.
Sweet.
And that rounds it out.
We did it.
We did it. Once again, we have brought you all the answers.
Totally. I'm excited to see what we were wrong about or right about, etc. I think I look back. I think one of the things from Uprising that I was pretty wrong on was Sand Cover. I was very, very low on that card, and it's still not great, but it was much more useful than I had anticipated. So stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested in actually experiencing the play patterns of like Uzuri and Riptide, you know, and the ninja combo lines.
Yeah.
To kind of get a sense of, because a lot of these cards are like conditional in who you're playing them in and how you're using them, and figuring out the actual strength of the cards. And like, because if I'm like pack one, picking one, you know, Razor's Edge red, it better be good, you know, right?
So, exactly.
Yeah. I really want a cold foil Mask of Many Faces too.
Sweet. Isaac will trade. So at him. Well, thanks everybody. That's our show. We're going to get out of here. You've been with us for over 3 hours. We appreciate it. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you in the next episode when we've actually gotten a chance to play with these cards. It's going to be great.
Yep. Thanks. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye. Thank you for listening. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Attack Action Podcast. On Twitter, we are at BattleBroTaylor and at BattleBroIsaac. Shoot us an email, theattackactionpodcast@gmail.com.
If you would like to support us, like and subscribe, shop for singles using our affiliate link, or support our Patreon for as little as $4 per month.